You got to stop taking pages out of Lance's titles. No, I need to learn more. I am not ashamed to admit I took a little longer than usual to figure out what the hell to title this stream because I just couldn't figure out what the right like wording should be. And it's really hard for me to put my name or my head in the headspace of like some of these ridiculous titles and like the clickbait and like you'll see Tuesday's video. You know what? I can show you the thumbnail for Tuesday's video, so you know to look for it. Hold up. And when you look at this thumbnail, you're probably going to think, what the hell? But it's really freaking good, and the concept wasn't even mine, unfortunately. So here's the thumbnail. That is the thumbnail for Tuesday's video. It's a good thumbnail. It's better than the first thumbnail I made, which I can't show you because it kind of reveals the embargoed product. In retrospect, it was such an obvious like title thumbnail combination because it's all about like I've been talking about this for our mastermind group of our like paid patrons and stuff when we help each other with your thumbnails and titles and all that. Like the core idea you want to come up with for YouTube these days is just like boiling down your video to the simplest possible idea that represents your video. And I've been saying this, but it goes further than I've been saying or thinking about it because it's not just when you think about what a video is about. Say I'm reviewing my wireless mic kit that I've been using in some of my streams and stuff. You might think, okay, I need to come up with the simplest explanation, idea, breakdown of what this is. It's a wireless mic pack. And so old school titling would just be like, D&D Interview Connect Kit Review, and then maybe add something to the front of it of like, awesome mic. That's super old school. Medium old school of like where my head gets stuck at is, okay, to me, the video is about the mic pack, so the title should be about the mic pack. The title isn't about the mic pack because the video isn't really about the mic pack. I mean, it is, but you're trying to convince someone to care about this. And if they don't care about the mic pack and you make it all about the mic pack, you're going to lose. But what you don't lose is when you come up with the reason why someone would want to use it. So for example, instead of the best wireless mic pack period, or I can't stream without one of these, or, you know, something that puts the emphasis on this, and then the thumbnail is like me holding it up close to the camera and being like, or whatever is like how most tech channels have been doing it lately. The title of a video like this, and I'm just making this up, you would have to workshop it a little bit more, but would be streaming with no wires. Or something along the like problem-solving line of being able to stream without being stuck to your desk. About being able to like, how do I like, it would be something along the lines of like, the problem that this thing is solving is not being tethered to your desk or to a plug-in scenario. And that's what the title and thumbnail focuses on. Not the mic pack, not a wireless lav mic, not explaining what a lav is. The title and thumbnail, are any of us really live? Yeah, the title and thumbnail would be about the problem that it solves, which is not being tethered to your desk for your audio, which is huge. That's just, I don't know. Anyway, the biggest thing is titles you have to tell people why they should click on, not what they're clicking on. Yes! That sounds so simple, but so many of us, myself included, and I keep rambling about this because I am trying so hard to unlearn years and years of bad habits in here. It sounds so obvious. It sounds like a duh. And like every time I hear someone preach this, I'm like, well, duh, I do that. I don't do that. What I do is I try to convince people to care about the what instead of just giving them a damn good why. And 100% the necessary strategy right now is coming up with the best why possible and not even thinking about the what anymore. And it's so hard. It is so hard, especially from an educational point of view where like, I want people to be able to go find my video if they're asking if I've covered X, Y, or Z. Like I still want that to be apparent. It's really tough, y'all. But the thumbnail for tomorrow or for Tuesday's video answers that without actually telling you at all what the video was about. Like, I hope it does well because this is the best luck I've had, like, attacking this concept. And again, it wasn't even my idea. That idea was created by my mod, Cujo. Like, I'm sitting here like, well, maybe I do this, maybe I do that. And it's like the obvious what things. And Cujo's just like, well, what if you just have your hands tied up with some AV cables? And I'm just like, mind blown, dude. Mind blown. Such a quality thumbnail. Thank you, Legos Jedi. Cujo with the 200 IQ. For real. Just came out of nowhere and was like, here's your thumbnail on idea. And I was just like, and the worst part is, like 6 months ago, I would have been like, what the hell are you talking about? That's fucking stupid. No, I'm not doing that. It's so good. It's so good. And that's what everything is about these days. And it's so frustrating. Like, admittedly, like I'm teaching, or, you know, I'm trying to explain this with enthusiasm because I'm teaching it because it's exciting that I'm learning and potentially finally figuring out something that so many channels have known for a long time, because I get stuck in super old school mode. But it is, you know, it's not an ideal scenario, in my opinion. Because everything has to, like we have to, I don't know. You got to fight so much now to get your video shown. You're a real reason why I started caring about audio video stuff I used to stream many years ago. And if I never return, I have been gathering so much from your videos, not only to be successful, but to be happy with that result. That is amazing. That is awesome. And see, that actually, oh my God. Okay. So that right there, that chat message, that is how, okay. That's basically how you like get yourself in the mindset, because that kind of comment that Swim Team just left is exactly like why you want to try more to get people to care about your topics. Because if, I'm trying to think, I wrote some down so I could like do, mainly so I can actually use the titles themselves, but I might be able to reference them for an example. So, okay. So, for example, specifically, since the Swim Team brought up audio quality, I could make a video that is like, here's why your viewers aren't sticking around on Twitch. And like the title is just like showing a view count graph like dropping off or something like that. Or, you know, stop scaring. Actually, one of my most successful audio related videos was something along the lines of like, audio quality isn't hard, stop scaring. I think the thumbnail said, stop scaring away viewers. When you focus on that kind of like stakes or like, here's why you care aspect, because it's not, if I make a video title that's like, here's how to get the best stream audio quality, or here's how to sound like a pro on stream, or top 5 audio tips, like that'll do okay, especially within my audience, like it'll do all right. But if I make it to where it's like your audio is ruining your viewership, but see, Gavatak, you're falling into the pitfall. You're still trying to convince the viewer to care about audio. If the viewer's like, I already know audio, I got my blue snowball, I'm good, they're still not going to click it. The thing is to not tell them the video's about audio at all. The structure of the video would be like, hey, here's the relatable, super quick hook of like, you're losing viewers, they're not sticking around, they keep showing up and then disappearing. You know, you set up those stakes. Yes, Kitchen Nightmares. The Kitchen Nightmares meta is over. You set up that stakes, and then you cover a couple basics. Like, I'm basically planning out a video I'm going to make, like in real time here. So you set up the stakes, the drama, the thing that they care about, and then you establish, this is why your viewers disappear. Boom, boom, 200 IQ. You set up those stakes, and then you introduce a few tips that they need to know or might already know regarding like viewer retention, your stream, and then maybe you start with audio balance, and then you're like, but you keep teasing like a secret, and then you drop the big one, which is when you really start talking about audio quality and like compressors and limiters and EQ and getting rid of fan noise and those things. Because when you try to just make someone care about audio quality up first, they either think they already know enough, which they might, but often they don't, or they're like, oh, look, another video about audio quality. I'm not gonna watch that. Bandu's OBS audio fit. And see, that's the thing though, is I have made videos like that too, but it's these dumb, like, here's how to get good audio quality that no one cared about. Honestly, no one cared about. And in fact, y'all came up with some good alternative titles. I am actually going to write these down really quick. This is why your viewers disappear, aren't sticking around. Also, Patrick, if you're still around, that's a meme on some of the TikTok stream notifications. Okay, so for example, Actually, we can work on that. We can literally workshop this in real time. I do not have a desktop capture scene set up, so I'm going to do that. So this is a video about audio ducking. Came up with a hilarious thumbnail. Let's look at lifetime views really quick here. So I got 2K views in the last 28 days. That's actually not bad. Let's do lifetime. That video's done just under 100,000 views for my channel. So this video was released in 2018. May of 2018. We had just moved into our apartment, like, literally just moved into the apartment. Here, we'll pull it up here. I look ridiculous. My apartment is, like, barely put together. There's nothing on the walls. The audio honestly sounds really bad.
Sound in your live stream across your voice and having to figure out which one's going to override the other. And
that sounds terrible. I don't know what happened. I had just thrown my setup together, and my RE20 sounded like ass. I later found out a year or so later that my RE20 was broken. Not the point. Sounds terrible, but it is a tutorial on enabling audio ducking. And audio ducking is the ability to make your game sound, your music, whatever, automatically lower itself whenever you start talking into your microphone. A crucial, like, super important feature to have in OBS live streaming. Like, huge. It is amazing. And obviously the video's done decently well, but it hasn't done that amazing. And I get people asking all the time how to do it. And it's because they're not looking, I mean, admittedly, keep your stream sound balance. Like, that might be what they're looking for, but, like, if it's going to get recommended to them, they're going to see OBS Studio sidechain and ducking guide and be like, what in the Sam Hill is that? Because it's, like, if they don't know that they need it, they don't know that they need it. And so, instead, like, I could retitle this video, but I think since it gets decent traffic as is, I should leave it alone and instead just remake the video. Make it with better audio quality, better presentation, and pacing, and storytelling. But I should remake it and attack it from the perspective we just established. I haven't formally made that a plan. It's just in my head as a plan. So we're going to re-record audio ducking guide. And we will add our title as we go. So the idea here, and maybe y'all can workshop it with me here. The idea is that keep your audio balanced. It's, okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. My brain automatically goes into old school mode. And so my thinking process is, okay, you're, you know, focus on the music automatically lowering with your game sound. And so trying to figure out that wording, but it's got to be simpler than that. It's got to be down to, like, stop fighting your background music, or stop fighting your game sound. Stream can't hear your game. Stream can't hear you. Some of those kinds of ideas. That is the angle I need to attack it from this time. Stop talking with your music. That's close. Like, it's the right idea, but it's specifically that is a little confusing. I'm going at it from that angle where my old school way of when I do these tutorials is I'm like, okay, here's a technique. I'm going to tell you how to do the technique. And if you don't know what the technique is, which is kind of what, if you've seen Veritasium's video on clickbait is all about, if I just tell you, here's how to do this technique, I give you no reason to care about the technique. Keep your background sound in the background. Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Perfect OBS volume automatically. Holy Nikes. All right. I don't know that that's exactly what we should go with, but it's definitely a good one. Perfect OBS volume automatically. Like, because you don't want, because it's not specifically just for music. It's not specifically just for game sound. You want the technique, not the technique. You want the core problem they're trying to solve, which is struggling to get volume right in OBS. Struggling to, like, you know, that kind of thing, which is perfect OBS volume automatically is probably very close. Never touch OBS volume again. Actually, that's not bad. But you see what I'm getting at, where it's like, you want to get as non-specific with the problem as possible to appeal to the problem. So actually, I am currently reading this book right here. Ow, ow, I hit my funny bone. That hurt. Currently reading this book right here. Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. It's actually by, yeah, okay. It's published by Brian Kurtz and Titan Marketing. This is effectively like the textbook on marketing. It was written in like the 60s. And it's just been ever so slightly updated with the intro and outro since then. But it's the same process, or like concepts and stuff everyone has used since the 60s. And this book is full of genius. I'm barely into it and already learning so much. Like, I'm taking pages and pages of notes. But the big thing it focuses on is that your headline, which in this case would be the title and thumbnail, because, you know, it's talking about like newspaper ads and stuff in the 60s. Your headline for your ad, and keep in mind, your YouTube title and thumbnail is an advertisement. It is not a title of an essay. It's not a title of a book. It is an ad slot, basically like an AdSense ad that goes in there. Perfect stream audio every time. That might be the simple one. I might A/B test between automatically and every time. Like that might be the A/B test. What's the book? It's called Breakthrough Advertising. It's like $125. It's ridiculous. But apparently before they started republishing it like a decade ago, it was going for like $1,000 used. So I'm glad they republished it. But like the core focus here is that you have to find the biggest and like strongest emotion problem idea that appeals to the biggest number of people that like that are approaching your video. So hang on, let me get the exact phrasing that makes sense. I literally, like I said, I have a crap ton of notes on this book. So you cannot, so the core tenets so far, again, I'm like a quarter of the way through, but it's already been gold. The core tenets are that you cannot create mass desire or want for your product, or in this case, your video, or even the thing you're teaching about or reviewing or playing with, whatever. You cannot create desire for that. That desire has to already exist. And so instead, you need to appeal to the right desire to get the most people, in this case, watching your video. And so you need to appeal to the forces that already cause mass desire. So for example, mass instinct, like the desire to be healthy or attractive or strong. Those trends are always there. You just have to find new solutions to problems within that. Or forces of change, like style or fulfillment or education, those kinds of things. And so when you appeal to like things that already exist, you're appealing to a reason someone already has to care about your video. Whereas if you try to literally conjure and craft desire for something that someone doesn't care about, you're pretty much always going to lose. Or you're going to get like a handful of people, and then you're going to piss some people off that don't actually have it. So that is what I'm really trying to learn, because between studying it, seeing the people who are successful, all of that, that is genuinely what works at the moment. And like, it makes sense, because it's, again, all of this that is applying to YouTube literally goes back to the 60s in terms of like the most successful headlines in advertising. So know how to do. Exactly. So I want to clarify something when I'm talking about this, just to be careful, I guess. And that is that when I'm talking about this, this is talking broader strategy. If you have a completely brand new channel, you have to mix things up a little bit, in that 90% of existing, like already established in some form or fashion, being like 500 or 500,000 subscribers. You know, as long as you have been making content and you're getting views and you're trying to optimize and get more of those views, pretty much everyone these days needs to target suggested and recommendations and homepage for views, because that is where the majority of views come from YouTube. However, if you're just starting out, you really gotta mix it up a little bit, because you're not inherently going to get on that homepage. You have to also target search a little bit. So if you're literally, it's your 5th video you've ever made on your channel, and you think it's good, it's not a bad video, which it probably is if it's your 5th video ever. That's not the point. If it's your 5th video on your channel and you're trying to get views, then doing how to do X, how to do Y, you know, SEO, search engine optimization, targeted videos is important, because you need traffic of some sort. You're not going to magically get recommended on your own. But once you're getting views and you're trying to maximize that, search is now one of the weakest possible sources of traffic. Unfortunately, it's the biggest one for my channel, and it's why I'm trying to adapt and change, because this writing has been on the wall for years. But I did want to throw in that clarification. Like right now, how to do X on my YouTube channel, unless it's just some big solution that everyone, like right now, if I said how to capture 4K 120 FPS gameplay with a capture card, presumably that would mean that there's now a capture card available for that, and people would probably flock to it. But if it's how to keep your game audio beneath your mic audio and all the, that kind of wording, waste of time. Complete waste of time. Like, especially even on my channel, like with whatever gauge you give, like my established size, like it would almost not be worth the time I put into the video to make a video with that title because the views would be so low. That sucks as an educator who just wants to make a bunch of how-to videos, but I still get to make those videos. I just got to frame them right. I don't know that it's a sad state of things. Like I said, these are literally rules that go back to the 60s in terms of like the best possible advertising things. It's just a matter of the competition is so much higher than it was ever before. And even when part of it for me, I think some of the younger generations that come up on TikTok and, with these already being established rules and things like that have it a little easier because they can just look at it and be like, okay, I'll just do that and be fine with it. They don't have any hangups or baggage or history with it. But for someone like me who started when YouTube started, not on this channel, not doing this thing, but, I started working with YouTube and observing it and learning about it back in 2006. Seeing the first generation of full-time creators who were able to do it for a living come up, where most of their videos were just like Team Deathmatch 46-2 gameplay commentary, or I'm feeling sad today, or going to the store. The most basic, completely uninformative titles that even looking back at those videos don't make sense for titles for the videos because they don't tell you what they're actually talking about. They just got views because they were uploading. And like the nuance, or the novelty rather, was that people were interested in watching them because they were posting videos, because that was such a new and unique thing. Whereas that isn't the case anymore. Okay, so I only have one video, how to. Should I leave it like that and not change it to blow your viewers' minds with amazing webcam? Yeah, if it's literally your only video, just leave it as how to. Make it as clear as possible what it is, so any new person coming across it is clear and is getting some search traffic, so it's getting you traffic in general, because otherwise you're just going to throw away whatever traffic you're already getting, probably. You're trying to straddle the line between making compelling videos for people when you see your thumbnail, title, end screen, and creating a strong database that... Yeah, exactly. So that's why I've been trying to work on the streamguides.gg website. I have completely not been able to keep up with that as usual. Hopefully I will be able to bring on people to help with that. But that is my goal, is to still have a searchable education database there. But because between the title and thumbnail changes for YouTube and the de-emphasis on backlog content, and YouTube keeps experimenting with the idea of if you search on a channel page, it will start searching all of YouTube, which makes no sense, but they keep saying it's a bug, but it keeps happening, so I don't know. But YouTube keeps de-emphasizing more and more of your backlog and removing playlist features and all this stuff. It's becoming harder and harder for YouTuber to really be an organized home for educational content. So eventually I really got to lock down on getting people on to move that to a website so that at least you can find it there when you're really trying to learn. Title transition as in how to clickbait-esque. Oh, at what size do you think you should have the title transition? I don't think there's a set size. I mean, it really just I could pull an arbitrary number of when you're getting 1,000 views a month or something. I think it's more you should at least be, when you're starting out, alternating. So every other.